Alright, I tried another video a second ago and it was, the camera was doing something weird, so I hope it doesn't do it again this time. But good morning. It is about 10. I have to be at work in about 15 minutes, and it only takes me about 5 minutes to just get down to where I work on the drive here. I did not let my car warm up, which I should have, but that's fine. Now that I'm getting back to myself, going back to Zumba, seeing people, eliminating bad people. Not bad people, because no one's bad. Like, I don't think that there are bad people. I think that there are people in your life are just bad for the timing of your life, you know. And I think that toxic, you know, people that don't belong there during a certain time. And I'm going to start singing again. And I don't know if you can see my breath, but it's like 15 degrees outside, and that's why I should let my car warm up, and I didn't. But there's a sheet of ice, just sheets of ice on the road right now. But yeah, I am back at Sabbath keeping, and it's interesting because I didn't think that I was going to be back at keeping the Sabbath. I didn't understand why, but you know, I work at a church on Sunday mornings, and I like working at that church, but I don't have a spiritual community that I attend consistently. I mean, I do have my home church that I'm going to go back to and I'm going to help out with, but you know, the other problem is that even though I'm a Sunday keeper in some ways, I still have a vision of Adventism. Ooh, the heat's on now. I still have a vision for Adventism, like in where I feel the Advent message comes into our daily life, and where the Sabbath specifically comes into our life, into my life. You know, not everyone's going to be a Sabbath keeper. I don't think that everyone is going to be a Sabbath keeper. I think that I just have been convicted to keep the Sabbath, and but also to work with different churches and different denominations and religions that are not Sabbath keeping. I think the Sabbath for me, it came, well, at least my reintroduction and my affiliation, I guess, with Sabbath came from the environmental crisis of the Amazon, which I don't even remember if I uploaded this video, because I haven't uploaded a lot. I've recorded a lot but not uploaded, and I realized that there has to be a time for a group of people to rest. Not that this group of people are better than others, or that they are doing a work that other people are not doing, but I feel that Sabbath keeping is important for the environment. It's important for the sake of the trees, for the sake of the earth. You know, Sabbath is so much more than just worship, sitting and resting because God requires rest for the sake of Him sitting on the throne. You know, and I'm talking about what people in Adventism talk about. I'm talking in the ways that a lot of conservative people talk about God in the form of He. But Adventism is not just about us people resting on Sabbath and doing it because God is pleased from rest, you know, in the sense of like, yes, you are going to sit and not do anything, and that is pleasing to me. I don't believe that is what Sabbath keeping is about. I do believe that Sabbath is about people needing a day off from work and from laboring constantly, and I think that that's what Sabbath was originally about. And well, actually, when you look at the book of Genesis, the Sabbath day was a blessed day because in it God created all His work and hallowed the day, and He rested. And I think that was just a reminder for us to rest and to look after the creation that was already in place, because the Sabbath came after everything was created. You know, why was Sabbath even? Why would God rest? If God is God in the force and being of God is not weary, you know, and love is not something that is like that gets tired of loving, then why would there be rest? And I think that you have to look at the context of chapters and of books to see, at least in the Bible, and look at what was happening when people were writing the Bible and why they wrote that and why that was put in there. But anyways, just looking objectively at the Bible and the book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2, you can see in there that creation was made. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And this is just the creation story, whether you believe it or not. And the earth was without form, and the Spirit of God was hovering over. And then He created, which I believe God is not a He, but I'm just saying this. created the heavens and the earth and everything, the sea, the beast, the fruit, every seed-bearing tree and plant, and then humans were, and then God rested, you know, and humans were made in that. Man was made, human, Adam, the first, and the first man that's recorded in the Bible, and then God rested. Not because God was tired or because God was like, oh, I'm so tired of all the work I did. God rested because earth needed rest. Like, on, you know, I really do feel that that this creation story was put in place as a reminder that creation needs to rest. You know, creation is alive. You know, when you look at the birds and the trees and all this different stuff, I don't think that they speak to us in the same ways that we as human beings speak to each other. And I know I'm going into a lot of ascribing traits to non-human beings, which I don't remember what that is called. One of my friends told me, he's like, you always ascribe traits to things like cars and stuff like that. And I know I do, but that's because I consider things that have done something for me in a way sacred, even if they're not like literally sacred. But sacred in the sense that has kept me alive, and I'm glad that I've experienced this to help me further my life. And yeah, I think that the trees rejuvenate themselves, bugs are alive, like animals are beautiful and they do so much for the planet, fertilizing it. Even my own cats, like, they are so comforting to me, and I love having them because they provide rest for me. And then, you know, human beings were created after all these things, and then we were asked to watch over these things, and we didn't, you know. And I think the Sabbath is a perfect time, sunset to sunset, for people to rest, look at creation, work with creation, you know. And working with creation is allowing yourself to be immersed in it. But if there is no creation and there is no planet, there are no trees, there are no animals and bugs, and all these things are being destroyed because of deforestation, all these different things, there is no way for people to rejuvenate themselves in this. So that is the Sabbath that I believe in. And then I do believe that Sabbath is also a day of justice. And I think about this because I'm looking at all the people that are homeless, and I'm looking at the way the economy is going. And a lot of people get paid on Fridays. That's just how it goes. A lot of people get paid on Fridays. And sometimes they look at their paycheck, they're like, I don't have enough. And I do believe that if a Sabbath-keeping church was open in the evenings, you know, and all Saturday, and opened their doors for people, and provided food for people, that this problem would be eliminated in extreme ways, where it's like, okay, we always have food ready for those at the end of the week who don't have. People's homes are open for those, and it's hard nowadays to do that, though, because there's a lot of crime and gun violence, and mental illness is just, you know, all over the place. But I do believe that the Sabbath was a day for those things. And I feel sometimes selfish because I don't want to participate in that. Because it's hard work. Sabbath keeping is hard work because of the selfishness and greed of humanity. You know, it's hard to keep Sabbath when it's easier to go to church on Sunday, because Sunday keepers, I feel, have done things better. But also outside of Sunday keeping, I feel that Sabbath keeping is difficult because people just want to rest and not be bothered with other people. It's like people have forgotten that, you know, nobody came into this world. People have forgotten that everybody came into this world with nothing, and that everybody was born a child of love. And I just feel that that is why Sabbath keeping is hard, because we are human beings and we're selfish. But anyways, that's why I've been drawn back to Sabbath keeping. I think I'm going to park right here. And I really hope that that I can stick with it. But it's hard. It's really hard. And I don't know if it's something that I can do long term, or that I can see myself doing forever. I don't know. But I know that when I sit and I think about what Sabbath means and how I feel I can contribute to the world, Seventh-day Adventism, the movement of Seventh-day Adventism, not all these different things that have been made, like, you know, Pathfinders and all these other big broad things and Oshkosh, that I don't feel necessarily have to do with Sabbath. I feel like I can participate in the aspect of rest and being there for those in need. But it's hard because I feel that this original movement, only a few people really do. And I feel like a lot of people are so stuck to their old backgrounds and old ways of life that they don't remember to do these different things. But anyways, I'm gonna go to work, and I will eventually do a video on my vision for this, and I hope that I can do it, because it's like I keep putting it off, and I think I've been putting off this for actually 4 years because I haven't known how to articulate my vision, and now I do, because I've worked with so many churches and I know how things should be done. So anyways, I'm going to work. Bye.